What you're seeing here is the Huey Long Bridge and one of the longest train approaches in the world. It approaches, it's over a mile, to gradually let this train, this Amtrak train, climb up to the level of the Huey Long Bridge, recently renovated from its old-style 1935 design, which was way too narrow for the 2 lanes in each direction that it allowed. Anyway, this is Amtrak Sunset Limited, leaving New Orleans at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. You can see in the distance the skyline of New Orleans. You can see the Superdome very clearly. That's the rounded, domed type building you see in the skyline shot there. That is the area the train started from. The train station, Union Terminal in New Orleans, starts out on Loyola Avenue near the Superdome. And so that's where we started, about 9 o'clock. And let's see, the conductor was just passing by checking tickets, so I was momentarily distracted. Anyway, that you saw the Huey Long Bridge earlier. We're now crossing over the Huey Long. In fact, when I tilt the camera down a little bit, you can see the cars that are exiting from the Huey Long Bridge onto Jefferson Highway in New Orleans. Now you can see the Mississippi River, which is just this side of that Superdome, that domed roof which is reflecting the sun this morning. That's the Louisiana Superdome. In the background, other buildings, and there's the Mississippi River's Bend area. You can see it make a sharp turn to the right. Just on the other side of that sharp turn to the right, you see in the center of the screen is the River Bend, the Carrollton River Bend area of New Orleans, where Oak Street is. The famous Maple Leaf Bar is there, Breads on Oak. The gluten-free bakery with scrumptious pastries led by Shemaine and Sean O'Mahony. They are open today. And tell Shemaine if you go by that Joe Paris sent you. She's a longtime friend. I was there on her opening day in the summer, the June of 2012. They've been up now 4 years, a beautiful bakery, scrumptious things, and they have gluten-free and vegan varieties of pastries, plus all kind of breakfast foods that you'll love if you happen to go by. There's fully the Mississippi River there, you see that. She's pretty high right now from all the rains in the Midwest and upper. We know the Mississippi drains about 2/3 of the United States, and the water here shows it. So you can see the cranes on the side on barges there, involved in some construction along the river here. And the large building you see to the left is Ochsner Hospital, one of the main hospitals in the world, really. Alton Ochsner, the founder, was one of the first to connect smoking and lung cancer, although there are many reasons you could have lung cancer. That's one of them. Here's a train. Oops. Here's a train that's passing by now. It's going to block our view of things. I'm glad you got to see a little bit. I'm not sure how quickly this train will pass. I don't know how many cars are on it. Every now and then you'll have a car that's set a little lower that'll allow us a little brief look at the river below. And of course I could just move the let's see if I can move the camera up a little bit. Yes, I can. You can kind of see the river there. I'm trying to stand up and let you see the river on the other side of this train. It's the freight train is passing in the opposite direction of this passenger train going into New Orleans. Oh, there we are. Well, these are empty cars. There's other big blocking cars coming. There's the river right there. I can also switch the camera around. There's the skyline of New Orleans in the background. I can also switch the camera around inside the Amtrak car and show you Avondale Shipyards on the left there. I'm not sure you can see it clearly because of the difference in light on outside versus inside. But if you can see, that's Avondale Shipyards up to the left, where the famous Higgins boats, the landing boats in World War II's D-Day, were constructed at Avondale right there. But it's so much difference in light. Here's the inside of a train. That's in front of me there. We've been almost 5 minutes, and I just wanted to give you some idea of the train crossing over the Mississippi River, which is one of the few train crossings they have. In Louisiana, I think they only have one other one. This is the only passenger train crossing over the Mississippi that there is. We're in the last cars, and I'm going to stand up and show you that there's a window way at the back. You can see that window. You can look right out on the tracks there. In fact, I think I'm going to walk back there to let you see what we're looking at. As I walk back, you can see when we start in New Orleans, the train is mostly empty. And just wanted to show you out the back of the window Let me just show folks out the back of the window here this morning, as we are now on the downhill side. You can see now that's the Huey Long Bridge in the that you're seeing there, and there's the freight train to the right. There are cars coming from the East Bank to the West Bank, coming from the New Orleans and Metairie area, Jefferson Parish, Jefferson County, over to the West Bank of Jefferson. And there's a freight train crossing now. We're on the downhill side. This is the last cars you can see. I'm standing at the back window, and that's the brand newly renovated Huey Long Bridge. You can see the two new sections. They're gleaming in silver, whereas the older section is that middle section, not quite as modern. But they totally revamped it. Took several years, but now it's finished. And as I pan over to the right, you can see the New Orleans skyline. Oops, if we're not blocked by the freight train, which we are now. And there's the last car. So there's now where you're going to see again. Let me see if I can. There's Ochsner, which is sort of in the middle, and I don't think I can quite see the New Orleans skyline anymore. But there's the now on the downhill side of it, you can see the edge of the Huey Long Bridge at the far left side. And there's the freight train going here. Here we are on Amtrak Sunset Limited, headed from New Orleans, Louisiana, to Los Angeles. It takes about 48 hours to cross over half the country by train. Makes several stops along the way, some in small towns like Schriever, just outside of about an hour west of New Orleans, New Iberia, the Cajun capital of Lafayette, then on to Lake Charles, Beaumont, Houston, San Antonio, El Paso, Tucson, and points west, ending up in Los Angeles at the Grand Union terminal there. There you can see the incredible side view now, almost the entire view of the Huey Long Bridge, having been newly renovated recently. All coming up on 7 minutes, lasted a long time. I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon. I just want to give you an idea as we cross the Mississippi River of a beautiful Saturday morning in May the 21st, 2016. Temperature outside is in the mid-70s. It's going to climb up to the mid-80s for the Boogaloo Bayou Festival along Bayou St. John, where Jefferson Davis Parkway meets Bayou St. John there in New Orleans. A great weekend to party. If you're close enough to go, I'd definitely go. Lots of food and music, crafts, arts and crafts, and lots of friends that you will see there. So there it is. Joe Paris here reporting from the downhill side of the Huey Long Bridge, now over on the West Bank, headed towards Schriever in about 35-40 minutes, and then Lafayette by noon, Houston late in the day, and San Antonio by midnight. So we hope you've enjoyed this brief 8-minute review of leaving New Orleans on the train. Hope to catch you next time. Bye-bye.